Once there was a young rat named Arthur who could never make up his mind. Whenever his friends asked him if he would like to go out with them, he would only answer, "I don't know." He wouldn't say yes or no either. He would always shirk making a choice. His Aunt Helen said to him, "Now look here. No one is going to care for you if you carry on like this. You have no more mind than a blade of grass." One rainy day, the rats heard a great noise in the loft. The pine rafters were all rotten, so that the barn was rather unsafe. At last the joist gave way and fell to the ground. The walls shook, and all the rats' hair stood on end with fear and horror. "This won't do," said the captain. "I'll send out scouts to search for a new home." Within 5 hours, the 10 scouts came back and said, "We found a stone house where there is a room and board for us all. There is a kindly horse named Nellie, a cow, a calf, and a garden with an elm tree." The rats crawled out of their little houses and stood on the floor in a long line. Just then the old one saw Arthur. "Stop," he ordered coarsely. "You are coming, of course." "I'm not certain," said Arthur, undaunted. "The roof may not come down yet." "Well," said the angry old rat, "we can't wait for you to join us. Right about face, march!" Arthur stood and watched them hurry away. "I think I'll go tomorrow," he calmly said to himself. "But then again, I don't know. It's so nice and snug here." That night there was a big crash. In the morning, some men, with some boys and girls, rode up and looked at the barn. One of them moved aboard, and he saw a young rat, quite dead, half in and half out of his hole. Thus the shirker got his due. Kit. The quick little kitten thinks it bit a pretty big fish. Dress. Many of Jeff's best friends slept in mesh tents in pleasant weather. Trap. The harrowing black cat dashes at any man and lands on the plaid carriage. Lot. The honest swan stops and acknowledges the fox dodging the bothered wasp. Strut. Mother loves butter that comes from the southern countryside. Foot. The butcher should put the pudding in the wooden nook to cook. Bath. Can't half the staff ask to transfer to the enchanted castle in France? Cloth. Lawrence often offers Ross a Florida orange and horribly strong frothy Boston coffee. Nurse. The early bird preferred the earthy worm. Fleece. These unique machines teach people to speak and reason. Face. The raven waits until late day for the great wave to break. Palm. Father and Ma said to calm the facade in the Nevada Plaza. Thought. The small walrus caught the hawk in the salty water. Goat. The rose slowly grows in Owen's old grove. Goose. Beautiful music booms and humans move to the groove. Price. The shy writer types at night to fight the silence in my mind. Choice. The spoiled boy hoists the toy from the soil. Mouth. Mountains of flowers crowd the grounds about the house. Near. Deirdre's fear seriously interferes with her ideal career. Square. Beware of scarce fairies, rare mares, and scary prairie bears. Start. The Sahara Party marvels at the far star in the safari. North. Laura's warm aura reforms Thor's horse for the important war. Force. The adorable boar snores hoarsely and notoriously hoards imported pork. Cure. The tourist endures rural tours of Europe and procures gourmet bourbon. Happy. The coffee, salami, spaghetti, and macaroni are ready. Letter. Sugar covers the tiger's whiskers. Comma. Bertha's and Cinderella's saga is a drama. R. Richard, Wilbur, and Harry are running around the treacherous river. L. Linda and Ali pull belly muscles, laughing laboriously. N.G. The singing mockingbird is swinging on the ring and dings the awning. T.H. The thespians gather and breathe 3 authentic breaths together. H. Harry and Hillary happily harvest heaps of herbs. No. Harry and Hillary happily harvest heaps of herbs behind the beehive. Herbs. Yod. The cute, dutiful blue cuckoo resumes cooing suitable tunes enthusiastically. W. Will and Drew whistle when the wind blows between the whimsical weeping willows. Ing. Miss Fanning is walking and hiking in Wyoming. S. Susie lives in her sister's house on Easy Street with her Siamese cats and Siberian husky dogs. I was born in Lawrence, Massachusetts,
And what year were you born?
1992.
And where have you lived, and for how long have you lived there for a significance?
I lived sort of in different places in the Merrimack Valley in Massachusetts, so Dracut, Lowell, Haverhill, for most of my life until I was 23. And then I moved to London, where I've been for the past 7 years. I got into my field by, well, I first wanted to be a music teacher, so I've been a singer most of my life. And when I first trained in a bachelor's degree in music education, I sort of ended up realizing I didn't like teaching children. So that was a pretty big wrench in the plans. So I ended up studying abroad in London. And while I was there, I was sort of looking at other things I might be able to do that were close. And so I got my master's in voice and speech. And from there, sort of just coasted into dialect coaching, sort of accidentally. I like that it's sort of a unique job and that is a way to be artistic, but also and teach. But I get to do it at sort of a not child level. So I like teaching. I like teaching adults who are passionate about what they're doing. I like teaching actors. I like being involved with productions. I love musical theater, so I love being involved with theater and music and art, and still getting to do that while not having to deal with children. I think that my accent is pretty general American, but I've lived in London for 7 years, so I think there's some inflections and things I do that are a little bit British at this point. And when I was younger, I did have a pretty strong Boston accent, but I think it's sort of more general now. I like my accent. People mistake me for being Canadian a lot, which I think is sad, and I don't really like that, but that's fine. Yeah, I love my voice. I think it's obviously I've trained it a lot and spent a lot of time on it, so um, yeah, I'm happy with my voice, and I think it's nice. I love to sing. I think I sound more like my mother than my father. My father has a stronger Boston accent, but yeah, I think I sound pretty close to my mother.
What's the best advice you've ever been given?
Oh, geez. Uh, I'm sure my mother said something great to me at some point. I don't know. Lots of family traditions. It's almost Christmas, and we have a lot of traditions around Christmas. My grandmother and I always bake the same cookies. Um, they're white Italian Christmas cookies that my great grandmother used to make, and every year I come home and we make them. And Christmas Eve, the whole family swaps presents, and it's a huge, huge ordeal. And yeah, most of our traditions I think revolve around Christmas probably.